Hello everyone, hola todos and welcome to La Liga Week. The Euros is well underway and so far we have seen some exciting young talent announce their arrival at the big stage. Here are the top 10 Wonderkids at the Euro 2024 you should look out for. Jude Bellingham, England, age 20. Champions League, La Liga, Player of the Season and a frontrunner for the Ballon d'Or in his debut season at Real Madrid, the standout young player at the tournament is England's Jude Bellingham. The Birmingham lad has taken Spain by storm and has enjoyed an impressive first season with Real Madrid under Carlo Ancelotti. Bellingham has been playing in an advanced role, often as a number 10, which has seen him score more goals and create more chances, putting up an incredible 23 goals and providing 13 assists in 42 matches. This form is expected to continue at the Euros, where he has already added one goal to his name. Despite England not looking promising under Gareth Southgate's management, Jude will be looking to get the best out of himself and his teammates and make a significant impact for the Three Lions. Arda Guler, Turkey, age 19. The attacking midfielder has been a standout performer this season and will look to lead Turkey's charge at Euro 2024. The 19-year-old, who plays for Real Madrid and the Turkish national team, has been likened to Mesut Ozil in the past and has also been referred to as the Turkish Messi. For Real Madrid, despite having a limited role this season which was hampered by injuries, he has scored 6 goals in 10 La Liga games for Los Blancos. He has been making a lot of waves in the football world with his impressive performances and has already broken Cristiano Ronaldo's record as the youngest debutant to score in the Euros. Güler nearly signed for FC Barcelona but was convinced by Real Madrid's long-term project and the promise of becoming the heir to Luka Modric, which played a significant role in his decision to join the club. Florian Wirtz, Germany, age 21. One of the brightest young stars in the Bundesliga, Wirtz was integral to Bayer Leverkusen's unbeaten title-winning campaign. Scoring 11 goals and providing 12 assists, he was named the Bundesliga Player of the Season. And all this after suffering the worst injury a young player could hope to get, an ACL injury, which occurred in March 2022. This injury kept him out of action for a significant period from March until his return in December 2022. The ACL injury is a serious and potentially career-threatening injury, especially for a young player like Wirtz, who relies heavily on his agility and quick movements on the field. But he's looked sharp since he's been back. Wirtz's impressive performances have earned him a spot in Germany's squad for Euro 2024, where he has already proven to be a key player for the national team. Having scored the opening goal in the tournament and Germany's fastest goal in history just a few months back, a good campaign from the Germans will certainly put him in contention for the Ballon d'Or. Xavi Simons, Netherlands, age 21. The talented attacking midfielder has been a revelation since his days at Barcelona's famed youth academy La Masia and will look to shine for the Netherlands in this tournament. Having already made his name at clubs like Barcelona B, PSG and PSV Eindhoven, he is currently on loan at RB Leipzig. Despite being outshined by Florian Wirtz's terrific Bundesliga campaign, Simons has also been consistent in his performances for RB Leipzig, contributing 8 goals and 13 assists in the Bundesliga. This consistency is expected to translate to the international stage, where he will be looking to make a significant impact for the Netherlands under Ronald Koeman. Simons is versatile enough to play on either wing or behind the striker, giving him the flexibility to adapt to different formations and situations. And not to also forget that he has represented the Netherlands from under 15 all the way to the senior team. Benjamin Sesko, Slovenia, age 21. Fellow RB Leipzig teammate Benjamin Sesko is a towering striker that has drawn comparisons to Erling Haaland and will be Slovenia's main attacking threat in the competition. He has scored 14 goals for Leipzig in the Bundesliga this season. Sesko is physically strong, standing at 1.95 meters and has a powerful build and is known for his aerial ability, which allows him to win headers and create scoring opportunities. He has demonstrated his versatility by playing in different positions, including as a lone striker and also in a front two. His ability to drop deeper and link up play is also crucial for Slovenia. And he is also Slovenia's youngest ever player and youngest ever goal scorer in their history, and went on to become the youngest player to score in 7 consecutive Bundesliga games. Antonio Silva, Portugal, age 20. The 20-year-old Benfica centre-back is expected to be the long-term successor to Portugal legend Pepe. He joined Benfica's youth academy in 2016 and was promoted to the first team in 2022. He has been a key player for Benfica, helping the team win the Primeira Liga title in his first season with them. Silva is comfortable in possession and boasts a high passing accuracy, and is known for his ability to carry the ball through open space and create overloads from the defense. Valued at 45 million euros, both Manchester United and Chelsea were interested in him in the last winter transfer window. That market value is sure to rise up if he has a decent Euros, and then the transfer market will definitely heat up for his signature. At such a young age, he is also vastly experienced and dependable, as he has racked up nearly 100 appearances for Benfica over his first 2 seasons with the side. Riccardo Calafiori, Italy, age 20. The young Italian left-back/centre-back has already made a significant impact for Bologna FC and will look to continue his form for Italy at the Euros. In the 23-24 Serie A season, Calafiori was nothing short of sensational. Under Thiago Motta's 4-2-3-1 system at Bologna, he became a key player, helping his team achieve what many thought was impossible: qualifying for the Champions League for the first time since 1964. The centre-back also has the ability to create chances with his passing range owing to his left-back days, which certainly add a new dynamism to the centre-back role, establishing himself as one of the best in the league and at the Euros. And it also helps that he has that classic Italian defender aura with his long hair, reminiscent of players like Nesta and Maldini. Warren Zaire-Emery, France, age 18. The young French midfielder has impressed for Paris Saint-Germain and is tipped for a big future with the national team. The youngest player in the French squad for Euro 2024 at just 18 years old, he has made a bright start to his international career, scoring on his France debut against Gibraltar. He is expected to play in midfield, where he has shown his versatility and ability to excel in both defensive and offensive roles, having been deployed as a 6, 8 and 10 under Luis Enrique at PSG. Despite his limited game time, which he has been audibly frustrated about, the 18-year-old is a terrific asset for Le Bleu, and if Deschamps backs him, he can certainly make a mark in this tournament. He has played 0 minutes so far, a stat that he would be surely hoping to change given the talent that he possesses. Rasmus Højlund, Denmark, age 20. The Danish wonderkid made a big money move to Manchester United in 2023, where he has scored 10 goals in 30 appearances in the Premier League so far. He has also helped them win the FA Cup this season, his first trophy in England. At Manchester United, Højlund is also teammates with Danish midfielder Christian Eriksen, and that synergy will be really beneficial in translating it to the national team. Højlund scored 7 goals in UEFA Euro 2024 qualifying for Denmark, more than any other player, behind only Romelu Lukaku, Cristiano Ronaldo, Harry Kane and Kylian Mbappe. Højlund stands at 6 foot 3 inches, making him a physical presence in the box. His strength and agility allow him to make intelligent runs beyond the last man and create scoring opportunities. One thing is for sure, he will be a threat to look out for in this tournament. Lamine Yamal, Spain, age 16. What can we say about Lamine Yamal that hasn't been already said? At 16 years old, he has already broken the record for the youngest player ever in Euros history against Croatia, and not just that, in the very same match, he also became the youngest player to provide an assist at the Euros when he set up Dani Carvajal's goal in Spain's 3-0 win over Croatia. He is already such a dynamic winger at age 16, and his potential is really scary. This will be the first time that the world truly is introduced to Lamine Yamal, and here are some more records that he could break while the world has its eyes on him. He could break the record for the youngest goal scorer in Euros history if he scores any time during this tournament. He can also become the youngest player to appear in a European Championship knockout game if Spain go to the next round, a record which was held by Jude Bellingham, who was 18 when he played for England. He has also been such a key component of FC Barcelona this season, his first as a senior player. In this season, he has already played 52 matches, scored 7 goals and provided 11 assists. And he's just 16 years old. He doesn't turn 17 until the day before the Euros final. And if he manages to play in the Euros final, he will also become the youngest ever player to feature in a Euros final, a record which is currently held by Renato Sanches of Portugal when he played in the final in Euro 2016. If you enjoyed that, then make sure to drop a like, comment and subscribe to La Liga Week, and I will see you on the next one. Hasta luego.